Hey, let's go. Let's play here some GHPC Bundeswehr missions. Let's start with Armada. Ah, that's an early version, right? Ja. Das ist Non-A1 Version. Ausführung 1. Eine Sniper schon auf Firma. Was ist Firma? Ja.
Achtung! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Achtung! Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Achtung! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Tief! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Tief! Dasselbe Ziel! Tief! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Tief! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Tief! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel nochmal! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel nochmal! Achtung! Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Läuft! Ziel! MG! Schützen! Nach links! Achtung! Achtung! Ziel verloren! Achtung, nach links. Neues Ziel. MG. Schütze. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Achtung. Achtung. Nach links. Neues Ziel. Achtung. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Achtung. Nach links. Nach links. Nach links. Nach links. Ziel verloren.
What the fuck are you talking, man? Nach links.
MG. Schützen. Nach links.
Shit, the fuck.
Achtung. Ziel verloren. Panzergranate. Schützenpanzer. Nach links. Achtung. Treffer. Dasselbe Ziel. Los. Treffer. Neues Ziel. Panzergranate. Schützenpanzer. Nach links. Nach links. Achtung. Nach links. Verloren. Schuss! verloren. MG, Schützen! Achtung, hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Ziel verloren. MG, Schützen! Nach links! Ziel erkannt. Schuss! Neues Ziel! MG, Pack! Achtung! Nach rechts! Nach rechts! Nach rechts! Ziel verloren! MG! Pack! Nach rechts! Ziel! Selbe Ziel! Ziel! Selbe Ziel! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Ziel! Selbe Ziel! Stopfen! verloren. Achtung, MG. Achtung. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach rechts. Ziel erkannt. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Nach links. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Ziel erkannt. Feuer. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Neues Ziel. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Achtung. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Achtung. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Nach rechts. Ziel erkannt. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach rechts. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach rechts. MG. Pack. Ziel erkannt. Feuer. Dasselbe Ziel.
Man, the fucking AI is talking too much.
MG. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Ziel verloren. MG. Dasselbe Ziel. Ziel verloren. MG. Schützen. Nach rechts. Ziel erkannt. Schuss. Achtung. Ziel. Dasselbe Ziel.
It's always a problem in those tank games when the infantry is so... it's just targets. Okay. That was an old school mother. Yeah, I mean... last time the update was in July. And I added here German forces, Marder and Leopard. Good, that was here some Marder action. Now let's play Leo A1. Is there also a Leo 2 now? Gut, Leo 1, A1, A2, das ist old school. Let's try Night. No, let's exactly. We will play the night missions on the Marder. In fact, let's try the Marder night mission right now. That is the Marder, regular Marder. It's not the A1 upgraded. Yeah, a bit difficult here without stabilization, anything. Wow. Man, that is... I mean, the picture is still better than in reality. Especially those Cold War night visions were horrible, but you can't even play the video game properly. But that here is pretty good. Still a bit too high res, but cool. What is a patrol? Okay. Take a sec. We don't have an infrared searchlight now. We have. Wait, does the Marder have... Shit, I can't see it. But perhaps it has. Yeah. Infrared headlights, it seems. This infrared searchlight on a turret. What's that here, man? Is that some AI technology or what? Vehicle ID. Nah. Well, fucking man, those infrared searchlights are too bright.
MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel erkannt, Feuer. Ziel verloren. Nach links. Nach links. Achtung. Hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Ziel. Dasselbe Ziel. Hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Ziel. Dasselbe Ziel. Achtung. Hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Feuer einstellen!
What is that? Is that really something they used back in the days? Some sort of... Nah man, those infrared searchlights are not helping. Ah shit, but now it's so dark. Is that a vehicle? I mean, the Soviets also use infrared searchlights, so let's disable it. Ja.
Panzergranate! Schützenpanzer! Achtung! Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel nochmal! Achtung! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Achtung! Ziel! Achtung! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Hoch! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Achtung! Ziel! Achtung! Dasselbe Ziel!
Why does he say Ziel when it's miss? Oh shit, there's something.
Achtung, Treffer! Neues Ziel! Panzergranate! Ziel verloren!
Oh man, unstabilized. Man, fucking turn off those illuminators. Ah, that was this guy. Hide him with one round. Penetrated. Yeah, illuminators are not that bright. That is way too bright. But I wonder what is that? Is that really some vehicle detection or what? Or is it a bug? Or did they really use some early image recognition technology in those vehicles? It looks like. I mean, could be. Some sort of... I mean, during that time there was already guided missiles that used similar technologies. Optical base. Never seen something like that. Wait. Just can I pause? Oh. Interesting. They use on Marder some... Yeah, we will never find out, man. This. Martin, somebody got a real, yeah, that's so. And now, man, a real in video games you can't even. Most of those night visions don't even work properly without illuminator. Look at that. Yeah, that looks authentic. I mean, that's why they use illuminators. Those early Gen 0, Gen 1. Exactly. That's how it looked, man. I mean, high light sources, or somebody might that is also using illuminators might light up, but other than that, man, you saw nothing without a illuminator. I think that Ukrainian studio did a good job. That those guys that do Gravi teams. They made a tank sim also in here Israel, now what was it? Iran, Iraq, and those wars. Where they use those Gen 0, Gen 1 night vision device, and then you know, man, you're basically driving in the night, and it's really hard to figure out because it is also from the FOV and everything. From the zoom, super hard to operate those, and yeah, it might look like that. That's why they needed passive illuminators, infrared illuminators, because otherwise you see nothing. But if you use that infrared illuminator, everybody that is also using night vision will of course see it like a flashlight. Yeah. I mean, you also use infrared illuminators because it's really cool, especially in mount. If you're dealing with an enemy that has absolutely no technology in that regard, very good for situational awareness. No matter if you have panoramics or whatever, it's always cool to have infrared. So I like those multi-devices that have everything. A visible laser is not important. I never use a visible laser. I don't know. Nobody uses a visible laser. Infrared laser, yeah, sure. But also really good is infrared flashlight, because then you can use the center of the flashlight simply for aiming. You simply use the center of the flashlight, because those flashlights are also zeroed. But that's, yeah, exactly how it looks. He is using an authentic, I don't know, he bought it probably from somewhere. That is a McDonald's sign. There is an illuminated McDonald's sign on the top right, which is very bright, as you know, from the highway. See how it looks in reality. It looks in those early Gen Z. Yeah. That is exactly, and I think the only game that ever nailed, not even Flashpoint, not even Armor, early night vision is hardcore. I've never used that because it is of course old school, but it is hardcore. Yeah. Especially for tanks. That's why also thermals were such a revolution in for tank warfare. I mean, the early thermals were basically you firing at some pixels, which are showing up, but still better than that. Yeah, that is a McDonald's sign. Look at that. I mean, the car is illuminated. It's basically almost like eye vision. I guess if you don't use night vision. Ah, no, wait. I think that is not vision. And that's how it looks. With probably the natural magnification. Yeah, that looks authentic. Yeah, that's all cool. Tony's. And the only game I have ever seen that pulls it off authentic was the Squavi team games, where you're really driving and see almost no shit. Even with passive illuminator, it's super hardcore to make out. That picture here, that is only here. I don't know. That's your modern night vision almost. Look at that, man. You can even make out here this disabled tank there on the right side. I just wondered about those lights. Never seen that. It looks quite strange, like I know perhaps they use some sort of technology like that. Some image. It looks like something is scanning the picture, and image recognition objects. I mean, could be that they use something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, if you really hit the internet hard, open source intelligence, you might find information like that. There was some crazy stuff they used in Cold War. Yeah? I mean, the first active protection system was used in Afghanistan by the Soviets. There's also almost no game that knows that. The only game was also Russian or Eastern Europeans that figured it out. With Combat Mission Afghanistan. Anti-RPG active protection system. They stopped using it because it endangered infantry nearby, but it worked. A lot of technology they're praising nowadays was already to some extent available even in the 70s. Was either simply too expensive, too bulky or whatever. But you would never get a picture with that, like that without a passive illuminator. That's why the passive illuminator is way too bright. That is rather how it looks like if you're using a illuminator. But that doesn't look like a bug. I mean, that really looks like some 70s technology, detection technology. So something is scanning the image and hitting those dots. That looks really like the some 70s. What the fuck is going on here? Okay. Jimmy, I'm paused. Somebody swings always. Yeah, no stabilization. But also here, that night vision is way too powerful. It's almost like a new gen night vision. That here is 2010, 2015 technology. That is not Gen 3, 4, I don't know what. Almost panoramic. It's super quality, man. That is a new gen not. I mean, we even have pretty good color depiction. That is absolutely not first gen night vision.
Panzergranate! Schützenpanzer! Nach links! Neues Ziel! Panzergranate! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel nochmal! Feuer einstellen! Treffer! 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 Treffer!
Fuck.
Treffer!
But that looks really like some detection system. I could imagine that is authentic. That looks exactly what they might come up with some shit in the 70s, man. Some night vision detection, detecting shapes. Like early missile seekers, they work similar. That, for example, work with electro-optical systems, not infrared or whatever. I don't think there is a bug. That dude perhaps got some nice OSINT that could be authentic, but I don't know. Perhaps they used it at some point, dropped it, I mean. But that looks, especially those dots, man, that looks absolutely authentic. I could imagine that it was a real deal.
Panzer! Erhält! Ziel erkannt! Feuer!
Should we? Wait. Wow, man, I completely lost. What the fuck? Yeah, okay. Oh, kurwa! Nah, it was still alive, man. Was er for ammo? With some Madus. Yeah, Madus is also nice armor piercing. But I doubt that we will. Is that a friendly eliminator? I don't think so. Yeah, cool. But still, shows you how even in that, and now perhaps you understand. My tanks in combat mission, they see nothing in the darkness. Yeah, figure it out, man. That's imagine you are some on the Eastern Front, man, in the middle of the night, sitting I don't know what, Panzer 4, or in a T-72, T-34. And again, yeah, sky illumination is very low, especially back in the days, 70 years ago. And being on the Eastern Front with little industrialization and urbanization, it's even the nights are even darker than in your Canadian comfy home. Try to operate a tank in the middle of the night. Even in Cold War, it was super challenging. And here we see night vision, which I would rather rate over the top. I think if you want to get a feeling for the real deal, play that, I don't know, what is it? Iran versus Iraq. Yeah, that Gravity Team game. They made a tank game about either the Iraq-Iran war, or was it Israel versus... No, I think it was Iraq-Iran war, yeah. And that game has the best, I think, the most authentic Gen 0, Gen 1 night vision depiction in video gaming. You see, it's so hard to make shit out. Even with illuminators. That also, I mean, Arab armies, of course, there's many of issues, but that gives you an idea why the Iraqi army, for example, got completely nuked at this highway battle when they faced rather modern Abrams tanks with and Bradley tanks with thermal vision. But still cool, yeah. Good, that was the Marder. I would like to check out the Marder A1. What did they do for the Marder A1? Because that looks really the old school Marder. I think the Marder A1 was quite a big upgrade. Yeah. What was the latest Marder? Marder A2? I mean, it's now phased out, but it was a pretty good vehicle. I mean, it was basically following the same path as most vehicles after the BMP appeared. I like the Bradley. That movie based on that book is complete bullshit. It's a funny movie, but that is typical military development. But the Bradley turned out to be exactly what everybody was rolling for. The advent of the infantry fighting vehicle. Which Marder was as well, yeah. That Milan launcher could be removed. I think there was also tow version, so I'm not sure. But that could be also removed to be used by the grenadiers, by the mechanized infantry. They had already the air guard hatches, or close observation, close defense hatches. That was what the BMPs did with firing ports, but people quickly realized those firing ports are not really good. The BMPs, or BMP-1 has those firing ports with the periscopes. You have your periscopes. I think there was also early Marder versions that had that, but they removed that and they rather replaced that, which even is nowadays still a thing, with those air guard hatches, which helps you against air threats or close defense, as those two dudes are doing. And of course also for maneuvering, because reversing with a tank is very difficult, as in modern tanks, modern IFVs like the Puma, you have cameras, but those Tunis you don't have cameras. You even see in the Ukraine, man, how they're driving over their own soldiers because they have absolutely zero clue. The cannon was a bit low on ammunition. Wait, what was the message? Steel armor, Blaze of War, exactly. Iran-Iraq war, yeah. Ah, yeah, exactly. It was Angola, DLC, and Afghanistan. Yeah, true. Man, shit, I would like to play that again. Wait, I think I have it in my Steam. But it's a very clumsy game, but it has some cool ideas. I mean, campaign play in Gravity teams is always a hit or miss, but they really figured out some stuff. There's a periscope, yeah, and those firing ports never turned out really. I mean, even the early Bradleys had firing ports. Basically, everybody copied the Soviet BMP, this upgunned APC, which then turned out to be a IFV. Which is also nothing new. I mean, the Germans already did that in World War II. They also had a heavy emphasis on infantry support vehicles with the half-tracks equipped with autocannons and whatever. So the Nazi Germans were the real Tonys that invented this, while everybody else was rather using this APC concept. It was really the Germans that introduced this modern mechanized infantry IFV. That's crazy how those early Tonys look, man. Yeah, but yeah, we're using definitely the early version. And I think the Ausführung 1 A1 Plus here. Dual feed for 20 mic. Okay, I mean that is nothing new. So we're using the A1. Night vision was only available with the Night 1. With image intensifiers and a thermal pointer. What is a thermal pointer? Perhaps that is what we saw there. What is a thermal pointer? I mean, night vision and thermal are two different technologies. Perhaps that is what we saw there. Yeah, that is Westlichtverstärker, okay. It's basically enhancing the picture in some way, digital or analog way, but what is a thermal pointer? Perhaps that is what we... Yeah, but no. That thing was not really... thermal pointer. What the heck is a thermal pointer? Ah, here, look at that! That is that shit. Oh yeah, cool.
Hey everyone, it's Fan Fantasy.
He's basically playing the same game, okay. Yeah, okay, so it's not a bug, it is indeed this detection system. Cool, man. See what crazy shit they came up in the 70s. Or 80s, yeah. Yeah, look at that guy. I was a Marder turret gunner during in the Panzergrenadierbataillon. Wärmebildgerät, as we call it, but that is not really a Wärmebildgerät. Yeah, okay, but that is in 1A3. That is not 1A3 had a thermal imager, I think. Infrared searchlight was removed. All vehicles were fitted with a thermal imager. Yeah, that was A2, yeah, but not A1. Yeah, what that guy is talking about is unrelated. That is... but they used some sort of night vision, which is a different thing from thermal, yeah. A lot of people can't figure that out. But they had some sort of detection system going on there. Which I guess that is this thermal pointer. Perhaps that was... I mean, in the game it looks like it is shape-based, like image recognition. But perhaps in reality it was thermal-based, some sort of detection system for heat sources while using night vision. And that is basically those dots you see there. Wait. Thermal overhaul. Yeah, cool. So they had, I guess that is what they mean with night vision with a thermal pointer. So you didn't really had a thermal, but there was some sort of detection system for thermal sources perhaps, which were then showing you those dots there. I mean, in the game it is rather shape-based. As there was a lot of tank wrecks which also got highlighted by those dots. Yeah, wait. Look at that. Just resurrected a forgotten piece of Cold War tech. Thermal pointer sight. Ah, cool. That is something very unique, which was only available to certain modders, to the early upgrade modders. That is a thermal pointer system, yeah. Okay, but it seems like in the game it is not really based on thermals. It is based on shapes, but yeah, I guess the real thing was based on thermals. Yeah, if you're really good at all Sandman, you can pull off everything out of the internet. I mean, Red Thunder dudes are also pretty good at that. If not some dude, some Brit lad comes over and simply posts some top secret information about the Olga, yeah, Jimmy, Olga here into Gunner Heat PC. Is that AI or is that AI Olga? Yeah, Jimmy, that is pretty sure gaming Olga. Feature I've already seen. That thing here is also written by AI, right? WOE without explaining. Yeah, WOE means WOE. But it seems like they probably used it. Here, there's even explanation of the dot system. But is it really thermal based or is it shape based? That would interest me. But I mean, it is called thermal pointer, so it is heat based. Here, the dot system. I think in the game it works probably too good. We had dots even on tanks that were slightly exposed. I'm pretty sure that would have not worked back in the days. That thing would have figured. On the other hand, if it is a heat source, it would have figured out. So it should be rather heat based, but it seems like in game it is based shape based. Because there's some tank wrecks which light up. And those tank wrecks might be by now. I mean, it's hard to tell in night vision and night vision. Sure, you can tell to some extent heat source in night vision. But you could say those tanks are still warm, or perhaps they recently died and burnt out. So they might light up in that thermal pointer system. Without thermal, it's hard to tell how hot those are. In night vision, you can't really tell the hotness of a source. But yeah, cool. Yeah, and that's how you do it, man. Search the internet and you will find crazy stuff. Even in Cold War, they had all crazy technologies going on. So it's some sort of in-between site, detecting heat sources by scanning the night vision scope. Okay, let's play the Leopard A1. The early version, yeah, not the A5. And the early version also has rather crappy night vision with, I think, illuminators. The A5, even the A5, does the A5 has thermals? I don't know. It was the latest Leo 1 in service with the German army and with the Canadians. The Canadians heavily upgraded the Leo 1. I mean, they have three modern Leo 1s, but still with a small cannon. What was it? The Leo C1, right? Okay, be right back. A2. Let's see how that works. But I think that article is AI. That was never written by Olga Zachinovska. Yeah, sure, I know. So as I not explain anything. It's not explaining how it works. That is AI article. I think that's AI article. Typical, yeah, very great. Wow, they found it out, but it doesn't explain it in detail because that would be too complicated for the AI. Be right back. But yeah, how well that worked in practice, you really would require a gunner that operated Marder A1 Plus. Yeah, that dude with the Wärmebildkamera, yeah, that is obviously the newer A3. Pretty sure that function could be activated, deactivated. That thermal scanning, thermal image recognition function. Not sure how good it was. That would really require first hand from some dude. But if they installed it onto many of those Marders, I guess it didn't work out too bad. Yeah, you can of course military procurement, yeah, sure can be stupid and whatever, but in that regard I doubt they wouldn't install some not plus if that shit is absolutely not working out. But still, yeah, I don't think it is working out that great like in that game. We just saw a tip of some tank and on the other hand, I mean, if it is a heat source and you have some low resolution thermal pointer scanner, yeah, I'm sure you might detect it. Yeah, what that one guy was talking about, I guess he didn't get the point of the video. That is, of course, they had in the new armadas they had a full thermal optics for the gunner. Is it illuminated? Normally it's like it's not illuminated. Okay. The sight doesn't look like that. That is illuminated. Okay. Night vision. Ah, interesting. The early Leos are using a system known from the Navy where you are adjusting the image until it appears sharp. Crazy. Really? Wait, how do I use it? What buttons do I need to press? Ah, Crazy. They use dual optics in order to find a triangulation point. Hey Delta. Crazy, I didn't know that there was a thing in tank optics. Stuff like this is used in the Navy, in rangefinders, like in World War II or whatever, where they use, for example, two optics to triangulate, or submarines also use that. And when the picture turns sharp, you should get your yeah, exactly, stereoscopic rangefinders. So they use in the early Leos stereoscopics. Nice. I didn't know that. Yeah. Usually they use some manual target computers or whatever. Yeah, cool. Cool to know. Okay, we need to move to BP Alpha. Okay. should I take from here? Damn it. Why the fuck is the turret firing it? And my turret's misaligned. Turret misaligned. Okay, I need to figure out what's going on here with my Leo. Guess the optics were disconnected from the turret. You check that out. What's my game bugging out? No. Direction stabilized. Perhaps direction stabilized was off. What is it again? could get behind that reverse slope, but that is quite far away. Wait, there is a slight reverse slope here. Not really enough to go hold down. Shit, exposed. We might go and engage long range. That's not really optimal. Torimo. Good, we hold on. For platoon, is that those guys? Is that the APCs? Is that a mech? Yeah. And VP Alpha? Yeah, I think so. I see my maneuver there. I hope this time my optics will work. I mean, the turret is moving. I'm not sure what causes misalignment. In many tanks you can detach the tank optics. For example, if you're engaging the lead from the cannon. Direction stabilized. Okay. It was a bit strange. I think it has something to do with the stereoscopic rangefinder. So, button. Dump lead, dump delta D. Left control E. Okay. But there's no detach. Ja, in CLBs hier sind da.
Panzer! Nach links! Ziel erkannt! Schuss! Ziel verloren!
Now it works. Okay. Nice hit on the turret.
Wie Geladen. Panzergranate. Achtung, Panzer. Geladen. Immer. Neues Ziel. Neues Ziel. Panzergranate. Panzer. Nach links. Zielkanon. MG. Schützen. Nach links. Zielkanon.
So, what the fuck are you talking about links? Shut the fuck up, man.
Feuer. Ziel verloren. Sprenggranate. Panzer. Ziel
Nah,
verloren.
man, first take out it. Oh, kurwa. Nah, no heat. Why are you fucking loading heat?
Schützen. Nach links. Dann. Schuss. Ziel verloren.
Shit.
MG. Schützen. Nach
Ja.
rechts.
Shut the fuck up.
Feuer.
First we need to take out the tanks. Further reached.
Neues Ziel. Sprenggranate. Panzer. Nach links. Zielkanon. Feuer.
Nein. Ah, fucking heat.
Geladen. Achtung. Treffer. Dasselbe Ziel. Treffer.
Na, man.
Ziel. MG.
Ja, Schnauze. Oh, Junge, der ist auf Tonys incoming.
Nach rechts. Neues Ziel. Neues Ziel. Sprenggranate. Panzer.
Oh, he loaded a
Nach
Sprenggranate?
links.
No. What is... Ah, we have a Sprenggranate loaded. Okay, then fire it into those dudes.
Nach links. Achtung. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Ziel erkannt. Achtung. Ziel. Dasselbe Ziel. Ziel. Dasselbe Ziel.
Yeah, we got hit. Because I focused on that fucking infantry. Okay, but we have another tank. Good. Yeah.
Geladen.
Priori flanking us out. Those guys, operational. Yeah, they are.
Panzergranate, Treffer! Neues Ziel! Panzergranate! Panzer! Treffer! Neues Ziel! Panzergranate! Panzer! Ziel erkannt! Achtung! Treffer! Dasselbe Ziel! Schuss! Ziel verloren! Panzergranate! Panzer! Nach links! Ziel erkannt! Piloten! Folgung! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel! Geladen! Achtung! Ziel! Dasselbe Ziel!
God damn. How did he survive that heat round? What is that here on for a device on top of the turret? This here? Can I see that tank, or did he survive that heat round? I mean, it was too low. Yeah, that was a heat round, right? Too low. It penetrated the tank, but all shrapnel went below all vital organs. I mean, there was some impacts on, but they didn't reach the armor compartment. Yeah, that was the heat round. Too low. I aimed lower because I was somehow having the feeling it will overshoot. But I've aimed a couple of inches higher, that tank would be toast. And that tank retaliated and killed me. In fact, it destroyed nothing, despite the proper penetration. Because a heat round will heat, yeah? It doesn't matter the angle. It will inject, but yeah, there was a too low hit. This time the commander was right with re-engage. Was rather focused on that other guy, which was still operational. But that guy had a fix on me. Should have immediately sent another round to him. Man, look at the penetration, man. It was so close. If you hit a shell, doesn't mean it explodes, yeah, but too low impact. Yeah, cool. I like the Leo, especially with the stereoscopic. Man, didn't know that they used it in tanks. I only know submarines. Yeah, in the Navy, stereoscopic was rangefinders were a big thing since I think World War One. They used basically two optics on a mast to range in. I wonder how they do that. I mean, the cameras need to be somewhat apart. The optics need to be somewhat apart, otherwise, the error probability gets higher. Oh wait, there's something on the left. And there's something on the right. You see those two holes? Yeah, that is here. It looks like a rangefinder for a naval vessel. You see that big thing here? Which looks like a axle of a vehicle. That is a rangefinder. Yeah. Crazy, huh? Didn't know that they used it in tanks. And you see those two holes on the left and right? I mean, it's now a bit, covered by the X-ray. I can't deactivate that? No. There is a rangefinder. Crazy. The Germans again, yeah? I mean, the Leopard 1 was built as a cheap tank. I could even almost say it is a light tank. It's basically no armor. That is a stereoscopic sight. Left, right of the turret. And with this you can triangulate your target. Very cool, huh? I mean, obvious. I don't know, is there any other tanks or other factions that use that? I've never seen that. Stereoscopic range finding in tanks. Very cool. Yeah, but those guys, very good research. You just need to check the internet, man. There's so many documents on the internet. Who seeks finds, huh? Because the further apart the two optics are, the better. The less error probability you have. Yeah, on warships it is easy, on submarines it was not that easy. But they installed it on top of the turret, yeah. Coincidence rangefinder, is that the what is a coincidence rangefinder? Is that the same or coincidence? Is that the same like a stereoscopic? I know submarines use it. I don't know how the periscopes. I think. I mean, modern submarines use that technology, but with digital technology. Top and bottom half. Yeah, I guess that's how submarines did it. Yeah, true. Well, that's how submarines did it, and that probably also two optics. Yeah, because you need to you don't need to align horizontal, but you need to align vertically. Yeah. Because you simply don't have the space horizontally. I think, yeah, American submarines use that technology with the periscopes, where you had two optics and you had to align a picture to get a somewhat range. German submarines. The German submarine? No, I think German submarines use different. I mean, they were really into that. I forgot the name. Which is represented very good in Silent Hunter 5 Wolves of Steel. I think also in some Silent Hunter 3 mods. That quick acquisition method. Yeah, could be the pattern that M48. I mean, they call them all pattern. M48, M60, but the M48 was the original pattern, yeah. The M60 never had our official assigned nickname, but people still kept, for whatever reason, call it Patton. At least they should have called it Super Patton. That would be more funny. Okay, let's try out the same mission with night operations. I wonder how, as far as I know, the early Leo 1s are really not that night capable. That's why they equipped the commanders with knots, because otherwise you couldn't handle it. I mean, I think even the Leo 1A5. Okay, does the Leo 1A5 have thermals? I don't think so. The Canadian Leo 1 heavily upgraded version. What the fuck is going on, man? Shit, my keyboard died. Oh. Was an A6? Yeah, okay, but never really put into service. No, I don't think the Leos ever had thermos. Ah, wait. Yeah, okay, well, perhaps they had commanders with infrared. Whatever. Let's roll. Let's play the next mission. Yeah, but that was really bad luck. We hit that guy with the heat. Was thinking it is a center mass impact. Heat is a super slow round. I don't like. But if you impact heat, if heat impacts, it impacts. It doesn't matter. It requires a slow velocity to unfold the Monroe effect. So I was thinking that tank is cooked, but no, it was too low. And then I focused on other tanks, and that did, because I was out of AP. See, the Leo ones carry only a very low ammunition load, but it's basically what you could consider a light MBT, somewhat similar to T70, the T series. Yeah, okay, commander has night vision. Let's go inside. And night vision. Very what the fuck is that? Yeah, that is a night vision. Limited. Do we have a passive illuminator? We have. On a turret. Very small one. Too bright. It's infrared illuminators. I mean, here is a bit too bright. And again, the picture is too good for those early night vision. I mean, that picture is almost like a new gen night vision. Like rolling panoramics or whatever. Man, it looks like daytime. Nah, that is absolutely not the case. They used really shitty night vision back in the days. And that here is way too good. You don't even need a passive illuminator. Yeah? For what do you need a passive illuminator? It's even too bright. That could be patched. It's exactly the opposite. That you almost see nothing without passive illuminator. With passive. It's not really passive, yeah. Everybody with night vision can see your infrared illuminator, like a flashlight. Yeah, that could be fixed. That is too good. Even my training, I didn't use night vision. That was so good. Especially, I can make out here all. Nah, man, that is here. I don't know. That is here Gen 4 panoramics quality. Making illuminators useless. There's a reason why they use that, because Without those illuminators, those night vision observation device where armor is useless, especially on range. That is something that could be improved in this game. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they strive for quite authentic detail here, pulling off some crazy tech, like here for that infrared pointer, or here stereoscopic range finding for the Leo. But that here is too. I mean, I even used newer gen night vision, and that is absolutely not how it looks. That what you see here is newest gen. I mean, look at YouTube, how people use panoramics. I think that even looks better than panoramics. And those things cost, I don't know what. What's a per piece? $20,000. Yeah, illuminators are super useless. Too bright. I wonder why is the crosshair so high, but there might be a reason for that. I've seen, I looked through those Gen 0, Gen 1 night vision, be it personal or tanks, and check out here, what was the game called? Blaze of War, made by those Eastern European Glavi team guys. That's how it looks in reality. You see basically nothing without illumination. You only see really bright light sources, even they are hard to make out on distance. And that's why you need illuminators. Otherwise, the military would said we don't need illuminators if you have such a great picture like we have now.
Panzergranate! Schützenpanzer! Nach rechts! Wiederkannt! Feuer! Achtung! Treffer! Dasselbe Ziel! Feuer! Treffer! Feuer einstellen! Geladen!
Man, through the bushes! Doing wall banked.
Panzergranate! Schützenpanzer! Achtung! Treffer! Feuer einstellen! Geladen!
But what I got right is, and if you have a light source, especially with those earlier gen night visions or not, that don't have some sort of adjustment, digital one, you see nothing.
MG, Schützen! Wiederkannt! Ziel verloren! Schützen, nach links. Ziel verloren. MG, Schützen. Ziel erkannt. Neues Ziel.
Did M113 just die? Holy shit, man. Did they launch a flare? Yeah.
MG, Schützen, nach rechts. Erkannt. Feuer. Neues Ziel. MG, Schützen, nach links.
Why is
Neues
M113
Ziel.
advancing,
Ziel
man?
verloren.
Hold your horses, man, Tonys. Yeah, get
MG,
wrecked.
Schützen, Ziel verloren. MG,
Jeez.
Schützen, nach rechts. Ziel erkannt. Schuss. Achtung. Verfehlt. Neues Ziel. MG, Schützen, nach links. Achtung. Nach links. Nach links. Achtung. Nach links. Geladen. Ziel verloren. MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel verloren. MG, Schützen. Achtung. Nach rechts. Geladen. Nach rechts. Ziel erkannt. Schuss.
They still survived, man. Those fucking bunker dudes, man. What am I supposed to do about them?
Neues Ziel. MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel erkannt.
They're
Schuss.
sitting there. Once I fire, they get in cover. Yeah? But that is the reality. Yeah?
Ziel verloren.
I have one hash loaded. Ah, come on. Those guys got work. But yeah, people in trenches.
Geladen.
People in trenches, you will not get them.
MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel verloren. MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel verloren. MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel erkannt. Feuer. Ziel verloren. MG, Park, nach rechts.
Fuck, we got hit. Holy moly. What the fuck was that? Man, time to call in support. Well, I mean, I like the German missions. It's almost here a common mission style. Plus, you play the German campaign, man. So that's some here bang, boom, bang. Okay, the left is lower. Let's go. Hold down. I guess there's some ADGM or RPG team sitting close by. What the fuck was that? I see shit.
MG, Hack, nach rechts. Ziel erkannt, Schuss.
Man, those infantry dudes. Ja, identified. Erkannt! Feuer frei! Commander killed. Okay, at least you shut up. Yeah, that guy is sitting in a trench. Come on, it's not really our job. The Eliminator is way too bright. Useless.
Geladen. MG, Schützen, nach rechts. MG, Panzergranate, Panzer, nach rechts.
Fucking, he's eliminating us.
Feuer einstellen.
He's blending us. You got him? Nice. Nah, there's... Oh, his light is still on. Should deactivate night vision.
MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel verloren.
Is that a tank? It looks like a vehicle. I might engage.
Geladen.
And then it turns out it was a kindergarten. Looks like a BMP shape, but probably was a kindergarten. Okay, that's our target. Bombard it.
Granate. Schützenpanzer. Nach links. Ziel erkannt. Feuer. Feuer einstellen. Geladen.
Ah, yeah, that's a Tony. I think he's cooking. I see some small arms cooking off. So it looks like a BTR shaped. It could be also a BMP, but maybe we see something is burning monoxide. So yeah, it's definitely.
Schützen. Neues Ziel. MG. Schützen. Nach rechts. Neues Ziel. Ziel verloren. MG. Ziel verloren.
So we fire wherever you fire. A US police approach. Ah, shit.
MG, Schützen, nach links. Ziel erkannt. Feuer. Achtung, verfehlt. Dasselbe Ziel. Neues Ziel, MG. Verfehlt. Dasselbe Ziel. Ziel verloren. Neues Ziel. MG, Schützen. Ziel verloren. Geladen. MG, Schützen. Nach rechts. Achtung! Ziel verloren. Geladen. MG, Schützen. Nach rechts. Ziel erkannt. Schuss. Ziel verloren.
Yeah, fuck them. The infantry. But watch out for RPGs, of course. Those suits probably, yeah. Bypass them, let him infantry deal with them.
MG, Schützen. Ziel verloren.
Breakthrough to Moscow. Ah, wait. Nah, breakthrough to Moscow, yeah. Still fits.
MG, Schützen. Nach rechts. Neues Ziel. MG, Schützen. Nach rechts. Erkannt. Schuss. Achtung. Zu hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Zu hoch. Dasselbe Ziel. Zu hoch. Neues Ziel. MG, Schützen. Nach rechts. Erkannt. Feuer einstellen. MG, Schützen. Achtung, Feuer einstellen. MG, Schützen. Ziel verloren.
Where's the fucking infantry, man? Yeah, I mean, sure, there's some infantry, but man, the infantry in those games, I mean, that is, of course, you will go combined arms, but the problem is always your infantry dies so fast. Or infantry dies in general fast. Here, yeah, sure, they might be in trenches and then they pop out, pop in. It's not really fun. Should give me armored vehicles, yeah? Let the infantry deal with the infantry. Especially if they are rather low quality. Okay, that was some. Wait, is there? Can I ask a player M113? So that went below the tank, below the BTR, exploded, and shrapnel hit him, but didn't penetrate. That makes sense. Hit soldier's head. Oh. Penetrated soldier's jaw. Oh, shit. That's not good. What? Who got his jaw? I think that. Who got his jaw penetrated? There was a hit on my first Leo, right? Yeah, that was spam. Who did that? That was catastrophic. SPG. Yep. Nice SPG hit. Yeah, catastrophic. Yeah, there's a Leo that got immobilized. Another BDR. Please slice through. Okay. I might check out here Grafenwehr, what is going on there. Grafenwehr training range. Yeah, fighting infantry is. Okay, be right back.